Tizzy! I shouted. A large red squirrel leapfrogged the couch and the love seat, then slid across the dining room table. She grabbed a nut from a bowl in the center as she passed. Swiftly, she flew off the edge of the table and through the air the last couple of feet before coming to an abrupt halt in front of my coffee cup. "You called?" She cracked the walnut on the counter and picked away at the shell with the pretty pink-painted nail. Through all this, she barely glanced at me. "Where did you put my Glock?" I tapped my own pretty pink-painted nail on the hard counter. "And quit using all my polish." She held out her tiny paw and examined her manicure. "I can't help it if I make this shade look good." Finally, she cast her large, dark brown eyes on me and batted her unnaturally thick lashes. "You're a witch, Hazel. You don't need a gun." "I'm an FBI agent, Tizzy," I told her. "It's expected." The squirrel turned around and swished her tail at me. "I worry about you is all." When she turned back around, the nut she'd held was gone, and my pistol was magically on the counter in front of her. "Ta-da!" She stretched out her arms, palms up, and wiggled her fingers. I tried to keep my gaze disappointed, but when your flying squirrel familiar strikes a pose and gives you jazz hands, it's hard not to freaking smile. I grabbed the gun and holstered it on my belt. "Just leave the standard issue FBI weapon alone. I'd hate to have to throw you in jail." Tizzy clasped her hands together and held them over her heart. "Oh, Hazel," she said with great tragedy. "I am not made for a cage." I shook my head at her. "Calm down." My phone rang as I contemplated putting my familiar on a mood stabilizer. I pressed it to my ear. "Special Agent Kinsey." "Haze?" The quiet, feminine voice startled me. "Lily?" "It's me," she answered. Lily Mason had been my best friend all through elementary and high school. We hadn't kept in touch. It had less to do with the falling out and more to do with the fact that when I left Paradise Falls, more like Paradise Fails, I never looked back. The memories were too painful. Even now, I felt trepidation, like a cold trickle of sweat down my back. "What's happened?" I asked. I heard a choke of grief on her end. "Danny's dead." Danny was Lily's younger brother. He had to be in his early 20s now. Her parents had died our senior year, and without any other family, she and Danny had been left to fend for themselves. Guilt tugged at me when I thought about what it must have been like for Lily. We both dreamed of escaping Paradise Falls, but Danny had been 7 years old at the time. I'd already received my acceptance to Iowa University, so the minute I had my diploma in hand, I hightailed it out of town. I didn't even participate in the graduation ceremony.